Dr. Gundry here with another episode of my new YouTube segment, Superfood or Super Fad. In today's episode, I'm here to talk about everyone's favorite high-protein grain, quinoa. So, what's the deal with quinoa? And is it a superfood or a super fad? Well, first, let's set the record straight. Quinoa isn't technically a grain at all. It's a seed. It's related to the amaranth plant and was originally from the Andes region of South America, where it's been eaten in various forms for thousands of years. And starting in the early 2000s, quinoa started to take the U.S. by storm, showing up in health food stores and trendy restaurant menus all over the country. People loved it because quinoa is a filling, high-protein food that's easy to cook and gluten-free. So it's no wonder people went nuts for quinoa. But here's the thing about this super seed. In my opinion, despite all its benefits, quinoa isn't a superfood at all. It's a super fad. Here's why. Despite being gluten-free, quinoa is still really high in lectins, those pesky little proteins that do serious damage to your gut wall and lining. Some quinoa is also super high in saponins, a lectin-like substance that's been shown to seriously irritate the gut. It's mostly on the outside of the seed and is often washed off during processing, but people who are really super saponin sensitive will still have a hard time with quinoa. Quinoa is also an oxalate-rich food. Now, I'm not going to say don't eat oxalate-rich foods. Some of the healthiest foods on the planet, including leafy greens, are pretty oxalate heavy. But for people concerned about their oxalate intake, quinoa is a good food to avoid. Now, if that weren't enough to convince you that quinoa is not the superfood it's made out to be, here's one other thing. The native people who traditionally rely on quinoa as a dietary mainstay are having an increasingly hard time affording the crop, because more and more of it is being sold to the U.S. rather than being set aside for people who really need it. So, no matter how you slice it, unfortunately, quinoa is a super fad, not a superfood that food marketing companies make it out to be. Meaning, it's something that should stay off your plate and out of the kitchen cupboards. Oh, before I go, make sure to let me know in the comments below what superfood you want to learn more about next. And don't forget to like the video if you've learned something new, and subscribe for more food and health related tips and tricks. Because I'm Dr. Gundry, and I'm always looking out for you.